Hello, junkies.
Hello.
Here is two out of three of us are mildly concussed right now, so bear with us through this.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I
I just
think
caught a
my
door.
place is more haunted than Fright Fest.
Yes.
Got attacked by some furniture.
And I got attacked by a door. So, we are, how many weeks into Fright Fest are we? This thing started on September
We are going into our fourth week, but
4th
really,
week of it.
once we hit October, those first 3 weeks in September, kind of like soft open preview. When you hit to October, that's real Fright Fest. So
Yeah.
we are in real Fright Fest territory. So normally we try to give it about 2 weeks, but you know, getting ready for when the general public is ready to come in. This is the week. So we'll break down, what we've noticed, the differences, tips and tricks. Um, whatever questions people have, we'll take them as best as we can. I think between the three of us, we've probably been in every attraction in every inch of the park during Fright Fest. So we'll do our best. And also, Happy New Year for anyone who's celebrating.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year to our friends. Um, is this something that you want to just hit right out of the gate
Sure,
just because we have so many questions coming up in the
we
group right
do.
now?
I think the biggest one that I have is that people are saying that they can only be purchased at the park. They can be purchased online. I did make a video on how to find it. It is a little, you have to go into the buy ticket and then there says like more packages and then the Fright Fest is in there. Honestly, if you're a day guest and you're coming for just one time to get, it's best to get it in a bundle online. And if you are a season pass holder and you're looking for one night, maybe consider. I like the flexibility of having the all season haunt because I don't feel like I have to try to get five haunted houses in and as many
One
shows
time.
in an evening. It's really nice to be able to spread it out. I do realize that it's 150 now if you're purchasing the season haunt, but I think it's the flexibility is really nice to be
Yeah,
able
it'd
to.
be really hard. I mean, maybe not with the later openings coming up, but these first few weeks, it would be really hard to get to all the houses in one night.
Yeah, you almost are going to be committed to just doing houses and then the scare zones in between if you are trying to do it in one night. Express is a heavy lift. It used to be like a $20-$25 difference. It's a $40 to $50 difference now. Um, on the flip side, fewer people seem to be getting Express, so you really do get right in. Um, but it's it's a big commitment to get Express, so that we'll see how that changes when it gets busier.
Yeah, very,
Um,
very expensive, but boy, is if you wanted to get all the houses in on a Saturday night with decent weather, you're probably going to need it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep. They're very I mean, the houses have been very popular so far. As far as the lines, we only have 5 as opposed to 6, and that does make a bit of a difference. Um,
So we
and
have. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, we could go through our and by the way, all season, we get the other question we get is who gets an all season pass included? So if you are a legacy diamond now, correct, Hector? You have,
yes,
yeah, so that was just added in. Diamond used to get a one pass,
for
one
one house a season.
a season. It
It was
doesn't,
one house. Yeah, it wasn't even like for all of them. It was for one house.
yeah, it doesn't actually
So
exist. You can't buy just one house. They're a package. So it was kind of silly that they were making this little receipt and then it was so um they upgraded Diamond Legacy membership. So if you've had this membership prior to when did it switch over? Is that 2020
I'm not even sure anymore.
the
prior to 22,
22, I think.
I think
It was
I think you're right.
15 different passes in the year. If you had that membership, and you've been paying, so not it will actually say diamond membership. Legacy, I think, doesn't it say Legacy now too? I don't know.
Let me look while
You
you're
now
talking.
you now have an all season haunt instead of just one house. So it's amazing when people get more. Diamond 22. Yeah, I think you're right, Rebecca. 2022. Um, if you have Diamond Elite, you have always had that all season haunt. Every year, people are like, "Oh, they're taking away." They've never taken it away. It's a big deal. Diamond Elite VIP, and then also I believe the Prestige Pass. I think it was. I'm a little foggy on this one, especially with foggy brain to begin with right now. Um, Prestige, some it's included, and somebody said that you had to have the all park, but I don't know if that's true. I'd have to go look in. So there's some levels of Prestige where it's also included. If you have that all season pass, please don't go to the retail for a wristband every time. You actually go to guest relations, member services, whatever you want to call it, and they will issue you a card. And the card has to be presented with your pass on the app. And they do write it kind of lightly, just so everyone has to use the tenant has to use the flashlight. Um, but the card cannot be reissued. So if anything happens to it, it's not reissued. I know there was some confusion with people getting wristbands from retail. I think that's going to, yeah.
Little off topic, but Dana was on the app today, and she noticed that where it showed your passes, it actually shows like a picture of your pass now. Not your picture, but like the if it's diamond, if it's uh platinum, it actually shows the color. It actually shows
Oh,
like your the picture
it
of your pass. And I don't know if that was just a new update or what, but I had not seen that before. I
does.
didn't check mine to see if it was the same, but
Yeah.
if you're curious about what you have or if it's legacy or whatever, so yeah.
Diamond Elite VIP, all parks membership. So it'll say membership on there if
Mhm.
you have membership. It doesn't say legacy, but
Doesn't
those
say
are
that.
included. So some people don't realize with Diamond that it was added. So if it is great. Um, Otherwise, if you're doing it just for a night, you can hop into any retail location to purchase them night of. You can purchase them ahead of time. Either way, you have to get a wristband. So the only buying it online saves you time in that if you're buying it with a ticket, the bundle price is decent. That's a decent discount. So I don't, and I've been told that the price is the same. Definitely look the for the retail locations that are maybe not so close to haunted houses to have the shortest line. So not all of them have it, but most do, and they say, wristbands. They have the little signs out that say wristbands available here. Definitely try to go to the ones that aren't so close to the house.
The one candy shop by Big Lou's over there in Orleans. That's I know they sell them there, and they've only usually got a couple of people in line buying them.
Yeah,
Like right after it seems like right after uprise, people tend to like go in there to get them, and I
yeah,
know that when I've been in there haven't been really long lines. So
yep. I think, I mean,
Kind of
it's
covers that.
they're running the passes are dynamic pricing, so they're running anywhere from I think in my chart is like 35 to maybe 65, somewhere around there. So as the busier nights are going to have a higher price. So that you might want to consider if you're thinking of a visit, the cost of a visit on a busier night also than we were just talking off camera. Sundays in September are the worst value for Fright Fest because you only get 3 hours. So, think of how long a Saturday from is going to be busier, but you're going to have 5 to 6 to midnight. So you get a good 6 hours. So it's great.
Do you want to
Um,
actually move into the houses from
for
that?
the houses, 5 houses.
Got two
Two,
originals, three IPs.
two originals, 3 IPs. But slight changes. So we know Estate at Wretched Meadows got an overhaul last year. I went through that one. I think when I went there, it was really well staffed. There were a
Yeah,
lot.
Oh yeah.
I went through it this weekend for the first time, and I feel like maybe they might have even added some stuff, maybe from a couple of the other houses that were in house that they are using from 13th Order,
Yeah,
maybe from probably. But it seemed there was a lot of props in there, and it was well staffed. I actually really enjoyed that one.
yeah. I like to go to that one first because it's so dark in there. If you go where there's still a little light, it feels even darker and spookier if you hit that one up right away. Like if you skip Uprising and go right to that house because it opens at 6. I feel like that one first thing really gets a good impact.
And I don't know if that one always, if Wretched Meadows always has stage actors in it, but some crew from Love at First Fright was in there, and it was
Oh,
yeah, a lot of fun.
that's a fun. Sometimes I've run into Knox in a haunted house. That's always fun too. Yeah, that's a cool surprise. You never know where they're going to show up.
Hmm.
And that is actually the only haunted house now on that side of the park. We used to, obviously Bloodshed is making way for an exciting, like just a small little ride
Yeah.
attraction. Is then as we go around, if we're heading that direction, the next one that you hit, you kind of have a choice. You've got Saw and Big Top in County Fair. I have not been through Big Top yet, but my understanding is that they reworked some of the maze, some of that in and out maze.
Big Top
Mhm.
was amazing. So we just did
It was a
this
lot of fun.
past Sunday, and the workers, the actors, knocked it out of the park. We almost had to go underwear shopping for my poor wife. They got her good. It was it was amazing. They were just on top of it. Every corner there was someone in a corner hiding or someone behind a drop wall. That's what got her. Um,
For those of you with littles that you might want to try a house with, that was Espen's favorite, and she's 8,
That's a
and Big
good,
Top is
as long as they can
her
handle
favorite. Yeah, they can handle clowns. She really enjoyed that one.
that's a
So
good starter. I think Estate is a pretty good starter too, but I think Big Top, because it's got that kind of whimsical quality to it, is probably like that's where I started my. I can usually get mine who don't like haunted houses to go into that one.
so strange as it is, we have these three new IP. Well, the three IPs, not necessarily new. We have the three IPs. That house, probably because they got my wife so bad, was number one for me, and then Estate was right up there with
Yeah.
a number two. So that's kind of wild. I did not see that coming. But
yeah,
our two traditionals.
I mean,
yeah. I have not been through the 3 IP houses since the first weekend, so I don't know if anything's changed since then. I know the first weekend
they got
I was
open.
really disappointed in the Saw House
They
from
got open.
last year, but yeah, they were open, but yeah.
I mean, there are some other parks that cannot say that yet, and they've had more, probably potentially more weekends of Fright Fest
No,
than
yeah, I do. Yeah, I think our park does. They do deserve kudos for getting those all open that first weekend, which I don't think any of us saw actually happening. And
no.
I mean, Texas Chainsaw didn't open until like 9 that night, but
Well,
it did open.
that
It
one
did.
seems a little. My understanding of that one. I mean, we're kind of skipping Saw, but we'll come back for Texas Chainsaw. Is that they do take a break during the night? Am I correct in that? That there's some that they have to take a crew break and then they come back. That one's been a little inconsistent as far as opening. Um, it's also not. It's it's not like they took Mausoleum of Terror and added to it. It is a different house.
Yeah.
You did call it Great Adventure, Gary. Saw is the, different than last year. Some of the traps are different. Um, I feel like maybe some of the vibe of Saw is that you do feel lonely. Like you do feel alone in Saw. So like I don't think there are going to be some staff that might come out, but I think the idea is for you to feel kind of alone and in a very cold, uninviting space. and that's kind of the vibe of it.
Well, they got that.
um,
We had a lot of actors in that one too. We had some actors at the beginning. Unfortunately, the water trap wasn't occupied at the time we went through, but then at the end they were all occupied again. So I feel like the staffing in the houses is better than last year, at least in my few hits. I feel like I've had a lot more luck this year than last.
Yep. Yeah, that one is definitely, if you have someone who is sensitive to gore, don't send them in that
Yeah,
house.
it's icky. Yeah,
If they
very
can't
icky.
handle the movie, they can't handle the house. Not a kid's one. That that line hasn't looked terrible. They can put. They've been really good about even if you see a long line, they've been really good about getting a good flow through those houses. So then we have Stranger Things. You blink and you miss.
It's short. I liked it. It is really short, but
It's
I
very,
liked it. I saw it the first weekend, but
it's very detailed.
yes,
Every time I've gone through it, it's been like a different like cast and different features or different people coming out. So that's kind of nice because you don't know who's going to come out in each scene. Take your time through that one and enjoy all the scenery. I think sometimes we rush through, and that one, if you rush through, you're going to miss a lot. There's a lot went into making sure that really puts you into the Stranger Things world.
yeah, that's kind of been my. People ask me, well, what did you think of this house? And I'm not one that scares much, so I like to kind of take my time and slowly through it and see what check it out. But at the same time, if the people behind me are screaming and pushing and shoving, they
Yeah.
must be doing all right.
Yeah.
So, kind of pushing me forward, like rushing me through it. So it's kind of the thing where I like to take my time going through them. But when I've got
Yeah.
teenagers behind me like just screaming and like let's go and pushing me out of the way, it's like okay, I guess we're moving. But
I think this is so different. This is such a different experience for us to have those IP houses. They're so different than the houses that we've had that have been homegrown and home designed. So it's, I definitely keep giving your feedback on it in our group. And also like if you get a survey, they've tried something new. And I wish we could have a sixth house, and maybe we will in the future, like next year. I feel like we're missing just one more thing. But they've been very well staffed, and they've been very well staffed. The detail of the IP houses, it really is cool. Like you're almost going into the movie or into the show. And I just think that it's helping us understand the creativity and the work that has gone on into the houses that the park itself put together, and appreciate those a lot and what they've done.
Yeah, I'm probably in the minority of people who haven't seen any of the 3 IPs, so that does not really help the situation with me.
I have not seen a Saw movie for a while. They're just not one that I get excited for. I have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like that one.
Yeah.
But you get that where you're in that land, and then we have also our street actors who do a fantastic job with the chainsaws and their actual.
Oh yeah.
Is that going on to this? Whoop.
Sure, scare
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the quote unquote free entertainment. So if you don't want to do the houses, you can get so much. You can think of the whole park as a haunted walkthrough. There are the scare zones really add a lot of character, and you can spend some time, going back and forth. You'll get a different experience every time. Of course, we have our chainsaws. They're still back in Yukon territory.
And they're amazing.
They're amazing.
I think a little more theming back there than in years past. They've added a little bit, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah, like what is that? What is their area officially? I feel really bad. I don't have a map up. The official area.
See if I can grab that. But they're using the area. They're using different props to pop out on people. And sometimes my favorite thing to do in the park is to just go back, sit down, and watch.
Oh yeah, love it.
Fun.
Love that. And I was sitting with one of my daughters on Sunday, and she's like, you can tell we were sitting back there, you can just tell what the story, they're trying to tell a story. So it is, she's like, oh, so they're like a family in the woods and they don't want anyone coming in, into their area. I'm like, yeah, they don't want anyone here. Chasing everyone away. Let me get my Fright Fest. We would be official and say what these areas are.
Yeah, I don't have a name on the online
So
map.
that is
Forbidden Forest.
Okay.
A birdie told me. Incredible expert. My goodness. An incredible escort and in the Forbidden Forest.
So we have that. We have let's see, get Wretched Meadows. So I will say that was so cool when the games weren't going. Like, remember when they first redid Wretched Meadows and like it had the smoke and you really couldn't see and you'd go through that area and I got jump scared so much that first year. Now they've got the games going and it like lights it up too much. I want it back. I want it back without the games. It'd be so much better.
Yeah, the games, they put so much light back there that it really does. It takes away from. I almost wish if they're going to have the games here, they'd move them back into Southwest, maybe a little further, because it's really dark back in that area. But
yeah, like what made it so cool? What that was like. Those scarecrows, they got so many people because they could hide and you could not see. The games lighted up a little too much, and the scarecrows are still doing great work, but now they have a challenge of trying to get people in such a well-lit area. That's tough. Let's see what else we have. We have Demon Lair. Great as always. Which bridge is that one on?
The one
that's the Yankee Harbor.
Okay. Yeah. So
Owned by Joker. Yeah, cool. Yankee Harbor Bridge. DC Comics area bridge, whatever you want to call it now. But
the henchmen, they will.
The henchmen killing it this year.
They're over.
Better than people would expect them to give them.
Let's see. Nightmares. I just love that one's so cool because you can just I like to sit at the tables that are going towards the Yukon barbecue patio.
In front of Oktoberfest there, the ones outside,
like watch
top of the steps.
running out of the bridge.
We get both. You get people running out of the bridge and people running out of the chainsaw areas.
Yeah, that's a great place to hang out. See, we got Underworld. That is nice, and I love anything where they've made places for people to hide.
Yeah, the only downside to Underworld this year is because it's two-way traffic. It gets really crowded sometimes. I think sometimes anything with the scare actors, they have trouble.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Because of how crowded sometimes it is in there. But
Lost Circus, I think the costuming on the clowns it's amazing. I just love their whole like vibe this year. Yeah, and that's a pretty big. They have a lot of space to move in there over in County Fair. And then we have our vampires, and the vampires got really creepy makeup this year. They look like they've been feasting.
And it's not so much a scare zone, but then the ride cemetery hiding over there behind Joker.
I like where it's at this year. I think that's a great spot for it. And that area was so dead before Stranger Things was there. That it was just kind of a area you'd walk through. It was just quiet and kind of dead. But I think that cemetery that's a really nice spot for it.
Yeah,
looks great back there.
That's one of the better spots where they put it.
I love that the mausoleum, is lit on the old sign from the house, and
so many little details in that ride cemetery. Don't miss that. It's worth it. Yeah, good amount. They have a lot of clowns, and a lot of clowns with different personalities. That's a fun area.
yes, one of them has an elephant herd in her arm.
Oh,
That's saying it's bleeding. So show it to you. So ask if you want to see it.
Very cool. I mean, and just as a reminder, like if you are going, I know we've had a couple of people that said, "Oh, I'm going to be brave," or "My kid's going to be brave," and they're going to walk through right after the uprising. Give it a couple minutes. It takes a little bit of time for after all the monsters have risen.
Yep.
It takes
Great time to grab a snack or a drink refill or a restroom break before the monsters come out, because once the parade's over, it does sometimes take them a little bit to get to their areas.
Yeah.
And then I jumped the banner over to this, since we're speaking of all the monsters and interacting with them.
Just
be respectful, please. Those escorts are out there to keep them safe, to keep guests safe. Just remember your role. Your role there is you've paid money to be scared. You didn't pay money. You're not getting paid money to scare other people. And you're definitely not getting paid money to go there, paying money to go there and harass the.
If you ask for a picture and they don't want to do one at the time, I mean, they're not required to. I know they do try to if people request to do it, but sometimes maybe if they get pulled away from things too much. I mean, their job is to be scaring. So you can always try back another time. There's no reason to get rude for them if they won't do it. If you see them do a picture with somebody and they tell you no, I'm sure it's nothing personal. It's just, they are instructed to kind of limit that so they can continue doing what, people are there to see them do, which is scaring. So.
And be ready if you're going to have a picture, like try to make it really quick. Be ready with, whatever you're going to use to take the picture, do it quick, say thank you, move on. They just don't want to take every, it's going to legit start getting really busy on the midways and, maybe unsafe to have so many people stopping, but also every time they take a picture, it takes somebody else is kind of taken out of the atmosphere, because then it's almost like breaking character. We are hoping, having the escort policy, and there is a second checkpoint when you walk in. So like now with the new entrance, you do your security first. Then there are employees that will pull people over who might need an ID checkpoint just to see if they need a chaperone. And then you scan your ticket. So that chaperone policy is getting enforced on the front end of the park. I'm hoping that as it gets busier that, it would make more sense to bounce, the 3 guests out of 300 who aren't playing by the rules than to just ruin it for the other 297. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would hope that people will feel a little more, now that they're into the season, more empowered to just, maybe end some of these visits a little early if something's observed. Or
I'm so glad they were able to get the security check moved up into the new structure up front too. I think it's making things flow a lot better getting into the park point.
Yeah. And they are doing all bag checks. For sure, they're going to do a hand check. So for the people who are saying, "Oh, I don't feel," some people were saying that they didn't feel like it was catching everything. They are doing a full hand check. And I believe that they have the third, then they can go through if they need to for, I'm not sure the process of who picks when or what. There are still the, slide through detectors. Yeah, at least, I don't know if it's all day. I've only entered after 5, but yeah, they're checking all the bags.
And we should clarify that entry thing. So there's no barrier to your initial entry to the park. You can enter the park up until the closing minute. The signs that people see that cause confusion say no re-entry.
Yeah. Initial entry is to close. So
you can initially enter at 8:15 all day long if the park's open until after 8:15. You just cannot leave the park and then come back in again after 8 p.m.
Correct. And that is absolutely enforced. There are a lot of reasons for it. I mean, one big one is if it starts to get really full and they've let you don't have a guarantee that there's going to be space to go back in. They need to just have a nice flow just going in and going out, knowing, what the attendance is going to do. So you do have to plan for that.
yeah, if you feel you'll have to go to your to your car, do it before 8 o'clock and get back in before 8. Because if you leave after 8, you're not getting stamped. You're not getting back in the park. So if you're leaving after 8, expect to be hand stamped and come back in, it's not going to happen. So,
yep. And this is not a new rule. We've had this. This is at least the third or fourth year that we've had this.
Mhm.
It would have to be that 1 year we didn't have Fright Fest.
So I'm going to pop that back up for one more second, just to reemphasize about.
We know that all of our members are great. I think what's happening is everyone knows that the monsters and the ghouls, they can't touch them. So that empowers some people to be, hey, Dana. It empowers some people to maybe be more bold, especially if they have their cameras with them. And things like following the ghouls or trying to be scare actors themselves, putting on makeup or costumes, and those kind of things become a safety issue. I witnessed, I was walking behind a family with kids, and some teenager just jumped in front of the kids and started yelling at them. To me, that kind of behavior should be, I mean, I'm going to say almost everything should be ejectable because I don't have to deal with the other side of it that the management would. But I think those are the things that ruin Fright Fest. For whatever reason, I do feel like there are a lot more children at Fright Fest, and I don't want to make a judgment call either way about it because people know their own kids. There just are a lot more strollers and wagons and kids. I feel I'm noticing more lately. And maybe it's because the park really has been working on being a place for families, and families are like, okay, cool, I can do this. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as things get busier.
And if they scare you, they scared you. That's what you came for.
Yeah, and to reiterate what we've said a million times, there is no boo, no thing you can do to keep them from scaring you. It's their job. There's no guarantee they will not try to scare your kids. There are scare actors that are very mindful if there are very young ones around, but if they do scare them, it's what they're being paid to do.
Yeah.
So
we are a no mercy park. We are a no mercy park. And everything says after 6, no mercy. I will say it again. If you are they have done a lovely job with Boo Fest. It is like they keep adding features to it. It's just such a fun and festive event. I wish I still had little kids because we would be all about that. It does. That Hometown Square starts to fill up. 4:45, there are people already. It's starting to look Disney-like, when Disney people line the parade like hours. It's starting to look like that for the uprising with people reserving spots. Let's not tell anyone that Disney makes that a lightning lane or.
Yeah, you come to that Ringmaster show and it's like, okay, almost over it.
It's already full.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job. But so if you are leaving and you don't intend to be a part of that, I will say again, please consider leaving through Orleans on that side. If you are intending to not be around for the frights. So that 5 to 6 hours, kind of like the or 5 to 5:45, it does start to get a little spooky after 5. So you might, if you want to leave, you would want to go on the opposite side of the carousel so you don't have to go through the big crowd at Uprising. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I got to post a couple about this. New store.
It's
Back
a
in
great store.
Yeah.
It is.
It has, I mean, it's not quite. So I consider that it's a movement towards like the Universal tribute store. So Universal, their Halloween Horror Nights has a store that's almost like a walkthrough attraction because it'll have a theme and go through. This one isn't as big, but it's a very big store and it has a lot of cool theming in it. Um, it's really they have good merch in there. And I mean, there's merch everywhere, but the Scream Shop, I mean, they're those wooden keychains and magnets. We haven't taken
Yes,
pictures of those
those are
yet.
cool.
Get them for like almost every attraction and every character and ride. They're very cool. I got pins there. I got my sweatshirt here. This is the zip up.
Oh, we bought that one too. Yeah. It's
Zip
nice to
up.
have a zip up jacket. I'm not a huge hoodie person because I get really hot, but having something that I can unzip is good.
Yeah, this one's probably a favorite. And it's cool. It's you get your plush there, you can get all the kinds of bubble wands, all the kinds of light up things. Have not seen as many bubble wands out yet. They are fun.
I mentioned that this year that I didn't in the shows. You're not seeing as many people with them. I think the park really should do a better job of advertising. They should have them for sale in front of Grand Music Hall. I mean, I know, of course, with mobile stuff they can't do discount. You know, if somebody's got which may become an issue, but yeah, last year we saw a lot more of them.
People to buy things. Yeah, I definitely think that they should get pushed more because they are so fun. I don't have one this year because you do have to store them correctly or you can wreck them, and I wrecked all mine. But I feel like maybe if I'm able to go this weekend, that this might be my bubble wand weekend because you can like tag other people. They light up differently. If you are someone who's bringing little kids, I know we're no mercy, but also like it's something they can hold and they can, focus on the colors and the bubbles. So something joyful in case they get scared. And I think for the amount of entertainment that it gives, even if you're there one night, the $30 isn't bad. And you can buy. They have refills for them. So you haven't seen as many. Maybe we need to talk about more. But the shows they like are choreographed for the shows and some the houses.
Even with the pumpkin thing up front and in front of the carousel, during that they light up and back with that as well.
Yeah, it's really neat when you're in the back of the theater.
I think it was a good idea to put them in front of the theater. I didn't even think about that. Have like a cart.
Mm-hmm. We mentioned that last year to someone, but
the Dippin' Dots guy.
Yeah. So.
Rebecca says she was upset when she saw nothing in. Oh yeah, that guy's cute.
The vampire plush, he's awesome. we own him now.
A bunch of the games too. They have kind of like Halloween prizes now, like stuffed animals that are costumed or whatever, which is kind of cool to have some different prizes out there for during Fright Fest too.
Rebecca, I did see white shirts and sweatshirts. There are things everywhere. There are Flags has a ton of Fright Fest merch, and Cartoon Cabin still has it.
I know there's white shirts in Flags and wow,
maybe Explode.
Yeah, they have. I mean, there's no two stores have exactly the same merch. I mean, you kind of have to hunt around.
Yeah, there's definitely a bigger selection than years past of
the flannel. I haven't seen anyone flannel yet. The flannel's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
a little salty, but it's cool. I mean, it looks good.
What's that brand of shirt? It's the shirt that Disney uses too.
Oh, for like the Hawaiians, like the button-up short sleeve shirts. Yeah. I don't remember what the brand was. I know. So it was mentioned that they sell those at Disney for the same price, but.
RS.
Ooh, oh, yep. Someone just said it. There it is.
All right. So specialty foods. I mean, we could start with. Did you have one for Oktoberfest, or we want to include Oktoberfest here?
Ooh, I couldn't speak on Oktoberfest at all.
All right.
There is that little almost like the park map that they have at some of the stores that has like shows all the different specialty foods on it, and it shows Oktoberfest stuff. I think there might have been a thing or two missing off the Oktoberfest because they didn't have, I don't think, the kielbasa on there, if that's still at Oktoberfest. But it was nice to have something showing the different places or the different foods that are being offered during Fright Fest.
I mean, I would say if you're going to go all out for Fright Fest, the package deal, it's like $60, and it's, I hope I'm quoting the right price. Somebody will correct me.
Please.
I think six punches and 2 pours in a souvenir cup for $60 is like an actual deal. Like if you are on like a date night or something, that's, or even a family and you go, kids, you can have water. That's a lot. That's a lot of food and pours, because considering what most drinks cost at the park, that's and I have noticed that it's a little cheaper to drink in Oktoberfest, and maybe people have consumed a lot more over in that area. But those packages they're a good deal. The individual items, they run right around like $9 to $12.
Don't sleep on the pumpkin spice beignets up in and go for what's it called now? Where Starbucks is, Bourbon Street. Yeah, those things are incredible.
So you can get your pumpkin spice fill at Bourbon Street for your beignets, and you can also get a pumpkin spice funnel cake.
Also amazing.
Those are pumpkin.
My I hate pumpkin spice. My worst nightmare. Like, I generally will not order from a place if they have pumpkin spice because it might mix. And I got 3 munchkins on Monday, and I asked for like just chocolate and glaze, and I didn't look and put one in my mouth. It was pumpkin spice. I spit it all over my car.
I have heard several comments, both for people in this group and just other people, saying that like they don't like pumpkin stuff, but that those 2 items are really good. Like, even though they're not usually pumpkin fans, but
I can't get over it.
I'm not into pumpkin spice drinks, but those 2 food items are really good.
The pudding is my jam. So if you like worms and dirt, you can get the worms and did we find out if the specialty shake at Johnny Rockets is on the meal plan or not?
It was not indicated with a meal plan insignia when I was there.
There is a cup of dirt shake. We cannot confirm it's on the meal plan.
Yeah, that is the cup of dirt milkshake, and at least on the signage I saw, it did not have a symbol.
The pudding does kind of go in and out of stock. I suspect
a lot,
but I suspect that somebody actually has to make the parfait, and if they, they're.
And you may get Swedish fish instead of gummy worms sometimes.
Yeah. It was tasty. It goes in and out of stock. So it's not there.
Same with the zombie pizza. Sometimes they run out.
Yeah.
So
I found a secret food.
Zombie pizzas, that's the one with the giardiniera and beef on it.
Yeah.
Hi. I found a secret food that I wasn't expecting that I have raved about. I went in to get my caramel apple and they were out, and I found out that they have 2 specialty ones. One is like, I don't know if it's actually called this, but it's kind of the idea of like a turtle. So it's dipped in caramel, then dipped in chocolate, then dipped in nuts. The other one is an apple pie flavored caramel apple. So it is dipped in caramel, then dipped in white chocolate, then dipped in like brown sugar and cinnamon. It's incredible. But you have to eat it with like 4 people or you will have a moment of sugar coma. So Yeah, if you haven't taken a second to stop into Coaster Candy and check out the caramel apple collection this year, treat yourself because it's incredible.
I
They
mean,
do run out. They were out.
And they do run out, and they were out this weekend. But you can also ask them to cut them. You do not have to eat them like a full animal. You can have them cut them into pieces, and they'll put them in a bag, and you can share them with people that you
apple, so it's
like
healthy.
to. And it's an apple, even though it's coated in
It's a
like
fruit salad.
it's a fruit
It's apple. I
salad.
know.
Yeah.
There is also orange cotton candy. So
Yeah.
there
Oh,
you can get orange cotton candy on your snack plan, and then the Beetlejuice icy.
Don't say that again.
She only said it once. She got one more. More freebie.
Yeah, and that one, while supplies last, comes in a souvenir cup. I'm not sure if they still have any of those, but I've not heard great things about the icy, but
Yeah, I wanted to get the green apple, the icy, but it was
it was out.
they were out. Yeah, I should have seen the light flashing, and I'd already ordered, and they'd already scanned them for it, and I was like, we're out of that one. I should have looked at the machine and seen that the red light was flashing, saying they didn't have it. But
Let's see what? There's one thing that's not in that sign. There's what is it? Fiery walking tacos? Isn't there like there's a spicy walking taco? It's pretty much something everywhere.
We have the spicy turkey leg, which is the demon drumstick.
Then, of course, the food truck offerings.
The food truck, thank you.
Food truck, the bread bowls.
Most important news of all, the food truck.
It does not open until 4:00.
And on Saturdays and Sundays, it does not open.
It won't be
Friday.
open on a Friday or Thursday. But yeah, I can't wait for it to get a little cooler.
Yes.
To just eat my way through all the soups. I did have the mac and cheese, the buffalo mac and cheese. They were very generous with the ranch. But
we tried the chili and the broccoli cheese soup. Yeah. Both were very good.
And I tried the chicken rice and the baked potato soup, and those were very good.
Yeah. Oh, the s'mores pit. We have the s'mores. So there's there's so many things to eat. I feel like I feel like I need to get more from Oktoberfest. I still have 3 punches. Oktoberfest, you've got the sourdough pretzel with beer cheese.
Mm-hmm. They have the chocolate the pretzel with the chocolate and what's it called? Black Forest. Yes.
I love, what is it? The curry bratwurst. That one's so good.
They have the apple strudels.
Yeah.
Pierogies.
Yeah, and there's usually so that Oktoberfest, if you want a little escape, it just feels like an old barn festival. It's a total escape from Fright Fest.
Mm-hmm. They got a live band out there a lot. In the evenings and
giant Jenga.
Jenga.
Yeah, bags.
Cornhole.
Yeah, it's fun. And again, there's some local. I talked about the one that's teachers. There's some local. I don't know, what do you call it? I'm not a beer person, so I don't know what.
Brewery or IPA,
yeah.
IPA beers.
Yeah, and then you can get a package with your food. So it's a fun place. I mean, I think it's so hard now with all the stuff going on to hit everything in Fright Fest in one day. You just can't. You almost need a visit for Oktoberfest and shows, and then you Fright Fest.
Yeah, have your visit for the houses and Fright Festing, and then have your visit for Oktoberfest.
Yeah, so much. Yeah. Like if you're just coming in for a weekend, you would need both weekend days, I think, to hit it all. Good problem to have.
Yeah.
It takes us
a little too much entertainment there, people.
Too much to do. People who are complaining about the houses, there's so much else to do. And S'mores Pit over in Southwest. It is not included. back in the olden days, Diamond Elite and maybe Diamond got us free some more. That was
Mhm. Yeah.
so it isn't included. I think that was a big thing that people were talking about last year. No one's, but it is kind of nice as it gets colder. That's another part of the park that's kind of chill over with the s'mores. So stop and just
Yep. You can pick up the s'mores kit at the Tanghulu stand, right?
yeah,
Right
and
in
you
front
just
of
roast it yourself. It's nice. We just need it. We need to get to drop about 10 degrees, not more than 10, and we don't want rain. Like 10 degrees, and then we'll be good. Should we move on? Should we move on to shows? You transition over.
See if we have a little button for shows. We do.
All shows are returning, so it's
Sweet.
our favorites. Our favorite shows. They keep them fresh every year.
One show is new. The little skeletons are new.
Oh, the little
Skeleton Crew. They used to be monsters last year.
Oh, that's what that one is.
And
Okay.
it's back in Mardi
Skeleton.
Gras where
Yeah.
Party Gras would
Yeah.
be.
Okay. Yeah, so there are Boo Fest shows. Boo Fest, there's a little Boo Fest parade, correct?
Yes.
Little monster parade, little dance party, little skeleton show. There's some
Yep, and I think some of the from Love at First Fright, some of the cast is part of that dance show in hometown when the parade ends there.
storytelling. There's like a story time. There's trick or treating back behind Camp
Yeah.
Cartoon.
Tempered expectations with the trick or treating because there are only like a few people. You know, you're not gonna be. It's not gonna be Disney where you walk out of there with 10 pounds of candy.
Also spending what $100 to get that candy.
Yeah. So right, that's what I'm saying. So just don't it's a candy trail. You get a few pieces of candy. It's not just don't go in there expecting your kids are gonna get a full bag of candy and
It's just like a little treat for them to
it's
enjoy.
fun. Yeah, exactly. And there is also
Characters, right?
a little maze back there too. Yep, there are a couple characters dressed
Characters
for.
in their Halloween
Mhm.
costume. Okay. So yeah, so those are Boo Fest has their own little shows. They do start Love at First Fright shows. They're going earlier, so your little monsters can see that one. That of course they update that every year. Bring it, make a lot of references to pop culture. It's a great show. It's great every year.
Olympic breakdancing, yes.
Yeah, when you think, you could be let's see. Oh, who wants to sing it? HOTTOGO.
No.
HOTTOGO.
Oh no.
There you go. Now we're gonna get
You're welcome, Sydney.
So it's all there. I like that one is available earlier in the afternoon, so you can see that and not worry about opening out into a scary place. Masters does skew a little bit older, so that one doesn't come on until late afternoon, correct?
4:30 is the first Ringmasters, I believe.
So then when that gets out, it's pretty much time for Uprising.
Mm-hmm.
That one also great. Full cast. I like that one comes out.
A new axe this year. Yep.
Yeah, new acts every time. Very cool. And then don't sleep on some of those extra shows like that happen throughout the evening, like sorry, foggy brain. Nightmare of the Machine, The Witching Hour. There's other things that go on. So if you're around that Hometown Square area, there's usually something going on or about to go on at any time.
I have not seen, unless I've just missed it this year. Like the last couple of years, they did kind of a slider show toward the end of the night in Hometown, but I have not seen that they've done that, or if I haven't been up there if they have this year. So I don't know if they're doing that, but
when the sliders come through, they are a presence, and we miss them in the street in the scare zones. They're not really zoned; they can be anywhere.
Yeah, they're roamers.
swamp creatures this year. It's really cool.
Yeah.
With their theming, so it makes sense in their, and they are a presence. They will spread out, come in. They have it. Definitely, it's hard to know and be in the right place at the right time, but they're really, really cool. Okay, what else? We just have Boo Fest left,
Oh,
or
Little
Monster
Monster Monday.
Monday. Monster Monday.
Boop.
Huh. So we do have one more special event. It's Little Monster Monday. That
October
is, yeah. What is it? The 14th.
It is
Yeah,
the
Columbus Day
Monday. Yep.
Indigenous Peoples Day in Illinois.
or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So, I many schools in Illinois get the day off. So it has traditionally become a family day for the park. There is no scaring. There is no witching hour. Um, it's pretty much like a Boo Fest all day. The kiddie areas will be open along with um, most other rides. It's a great kind of bonus Monday. They will be running Love at First Fright, correct? And maybe the monster.
I think they said Love at First Fright. For clarity on this one, they did make an advertisement talking about the event, and they highlighted how the kids areas would be open. They are saying the whole park, subject to any random availability, everything will be open. They're just pointing out that those specific areas will also be open.
Yeah, 'cause those kids areas close early on normal Fright Fest days, and that's another thing to point out too. Because I did hear a couple people commenting this week, like once after Uprising, well, kids rides are closed. Well, yeah, it's ever they do close at, is it 4?
Yeah, I think they do. And because it wouldn't make sense if the park is saying no mercy after 6,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense to then have all the kids' rides open.
Yep. So.
Well, plus the luncheon would be open.
Oh yeah. Plus you have the house behind the one area by Eagle, but for the.
Oh, behind Kidsopolis, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, and that's like right in the middle of the scare zone too.
Yeah. So.
Be really spooky.
Just some people don't realize that and they get mad because they still have their kids in the park and they can't ride stuff. It's like, well, it is advertised that way. It's not like they close them for that day. So.
I mean, this has been years of
Mm-hmm.
the park finding a balance between, having fall fun and having having a scary place. And I know, there are always people say it's too scary, not scary enough. And I think this has been a really great balance to make that cutoff time. And also to have the two events, to have the Boo Fest, this is Boo Fest and now this is Fright Fest. So that's kind of where things are coming. I would say the park has been very popular. The weather has cooperated this year. I was surprised at how busy the first couple Saturdays in September have been. We don't normally have that, so I really think that signals a lot of popularity going for October. We do encourage people to try to get to the park as early as possible. Don't plan on getting there at 5 because everyone has that plan. There are nights where it's so popular that you could be waiting on 94 for a while. There's some construction in the area in Gurnee, I think east of the park. You could be waiting for a while. I definitely, we check the traffic cams. I would recommend checking traffic cams. But the earlier you can get in, the better. I know it is tricky because you really leaving and coming back gets hard. But what week was it? 2 weeks ago, was it Saturday or Sunday that getting into the park at 5, the line was going through preferred parking?
That was a Saturday because we had gotten in right before that. Somebody posted right after we got there. It's like if the line had gone out. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a near capacity. Like it wasn't a day where they were saying, "Hey, the park is busy." I mean, it was just everyone coming in. You're getting like a rush at that time. So I would definitely try to if you're going to come in, think about maybe 3 is your time. Maybe get in at 3, enjoy some Oktoberfest, then go over for Uprising, and then have your Fright Fest, it's like you almost get bonus
Mhm.
time.
Yeah, we get there around 4 on Saturdays, and it's still not bad. I think once you get closer to that uprising, though, time
Yeah, I would.
you get there right before you may miss it because you're gonna be in line waiting to get in. So
Yeah, so definitely plan ahead. It's not saying that like on a Saturday night that you can't get in. I mean, I'm going to be the one that's going to enjoy coming in after 8 for my first visit because I have to pick my daughter up anyway. And if it's full, it's full. But like, just know that it's busy. If you don't like big crowds, consider going on a different day.
Or
have your patience, and I
Yeah.
will say, it's been pretty busy these first couple of weekends, but I think the food operations have been really good. I haven't waited like long in line for anything that I can think of. It's all gone pretty smooth. So, I've been right for sometimes a year where a lot of their staff goes away, starts going back, to other countries and that, so they have less staff, and it's been a challenge. But I think everything's been pretty solid this year. It's all been pretty
I mean, they've
pretty
really
good.
got a good rhythm. They have a lot of practice doing this. It's
Mhm.
I think it's been a great event. Remember, you can only this year it is a circle. There's no cutting through, there's no choice. Cut through the demon area that is closed. We
Yeah.
like that it's closed because then we know that there's progress happening. Um, but yeah, I think people will slam. I don't know. I think sometimes people have a romanticized version of Fright Fest. If you go there all the time, maybe take a break. But I think for somebody who's coming in and this is their one visit, I think they're going to have a great visit. Like it's your one time to go through, there's just so much stuff and so much to do. And I think sometimes junkies get a skewed vision of that because we go so much.
And they're
And we
still
say,
adding.
oh,
I mean, we noticed some decorations this past week that weren't up the weekend before. It's like there's still
like
the stuff for
this,
the bridge for the demon bridge.
yeah.
There was more stuff there that wasn't there before, and
This is like the real Fright Fest. Like we talk about in the summer, that peak season starts like the week before 4th of July. Like, oh, now we're in real. Those first 3 weekends, like, oh, they're kind of like fall fun, almost like a Fright Fest preview. This is when the real fun
yeah,
starts. So,
they were the soft opening.
yeah. So, I mean, it's Fright. I think that I would say that this year is Fright Fest, everything that you expect it to be, as far as the scare zones and going through, having the specialty fall items, having Oktoberfest. It's so nice to have that back. Um, and then, a little bit of a different spin on the houses. So if you have, we only had what, one new house last year?
Yeah, it
And
was just a saw house last year.
one new and then one revamped. So it's kind of cool that you're going to go through something new. They can't always keep everything the same, so it's nice how things evolve little by little. And there's just so much to do. So can't wait. Oh, you know what? How many people do we have on right now?
not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot. I so happen.
Oh,
Make sure I do. Make sure. Oh yeah. So happen to have a ticket I would love to give to somebody who is on right now. So you could bring a friend, and what I'll do is, if you send me a message on Messenger, I will send you a PDF of the ticket, and you can use it actually at any of the parks through the end of the year. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I can't tell who's on.
I'm gonna pick a number 1 to 100. You could text me the number, and then we
Sure.
can. Okay.
Sure. I'm going to send in the private chat. I'm going to send a number. Okay. So if you are on right now, go ahead and enter a number between 1 and 100. And whoever gets the closest without going over will get this ticket.
1 while that's going
But
on,
I would, maybe we're thinking the same thing while we're doing that.
yeah,
Maybe Brent was going to say the same thing that
it's
you guys
probably
know that Bob took a break from the park,
yeah.
or from the group. If you've been there, you've noticed that he is working in the park during Fright Fest. If you see him working with the staff shirt on, do not approach him for pins. He does not have any on him.
He's actually officially on leave from the group because it would be a conflict of interest to do both. So don't put him in a bad position.
So he will be back. He will be back. Nothing's wrong with him. He's just,
when we
yeah.
said
There's something wrong with him.
he had a work commitment. I don't see anyone putting in, like, try to give a free ticket, and I don't see anyone putting in a number.
But you can pretty much every weekend except maybe next weekend. We're at the park Saturday evenings and all day Sunday.
Look for the
So
little
we have
costume
pins.
human.
Look for the little costumed human, or one of them. Yeah. We usually post when we get in the park, and
that's another question we get all the time. Like, who can wear a costume, who cannot? If you are 12 or under, you can wear a
12 and
costume.
under.
No mask.
No masks, you guys. Do the makeup.
Do makeup, but yeah, no full face.
Is no one wants a ticket?
Great minds were thinking alike there, Hector.
If you are an adult or if you are a little person above 12, you shouldn't wear a costume.
But it's okay to do like if you want to wear your jammies that look like a cow.
The onesies, yeah.
If you have a shirt that gives the idea that you are Chucky that you got from Walmart and you wear your good guy's hat, like, that's okay, Come
Jamie
in.
has the most imaginative Fright Fest shirts.
Yeah.
But please don't wear your scary scream mask. You can't wear that
at all. You shouldn't be such that you might look like you're working for the park, or whoever had their child in a full clown costume crawling in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put this ticket up in the group then. I'm going to find a different way to do this ticket.
Throw it out there. The first one to message you that wants it gets it.
Oh, wait. Okay. So I'll put it up in the group. Maybe we'll do like a nominate somebody who could use a great day or something. We just found an envelope full of tickets in my house that we want to go to to somebody.
A good home. It's very nice.
Home. I mean, they don't. Anyway, any other questions?
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
I think we have a good number of people just listening to, I don't know, want to see a review. Great work. I'm happy with Fright Fest this year. How about you?
Very.
Enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, there's too much to do in a day, and that's a good problem.
Yeah. Love it.
Very happy with it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, everyone.